This video and associated handout discusses the drawing of structures with ChemSketch for NIST 26. It's part of my Accurate Mass LC MSMS Basic Introductory course. You'll be using ACD to create or modify structures. You can send them to the NIST search software via the Windows clipboard. They're sent to the MS Interpreter via the Windows clipboard. Basic ACD ChemSketch training via YouTube videos by others. I won't be discussing any amount of instruction in that area, but there's lots of good videos out there. And in this handout, I list one of the better ones, I think, for your use. You can use ChemSketch, which we downloaded. I showed you how to download it earlier for educational purposes only or personal use. I also have a free mass spec calculator professional for commercial users. See my resource section on my webpage. So I was just going to show you, there's some handouts here, but the one here is the one, lots of instructional videos on YouTube, and here's one that I particularly like. So I'll go to the software now and demonstrate some of the applications of ACD with the NIST search. Well, I've opened up the chromatogram window. You cannot send something down here to the ACD ChemSketch, but you can up here, but not clicking on the spectrum. But if you go over and click in the box for the results for the library search, the ASCII part, and right click on it, you can say send to default structure editor. And your program, if you set it up right, should go to the ACD ChemSketch. It's actually opening up on my other window on my computer. And I'll bring it over here now. I'll say OK. It opened up one more window, which I'll cancel out of. Sometimes it brings over some strange looking structures with oxidation states on them. In the case of ones that I have, my user structures, it doesn't seem to do that. But if it does, you need to circle it or box it. I'll just box it here and go up to Tools and say Search for Structure, Templates, Options, Set Structure Drawing Style. I usually like normal. That's usually good for me. And now you have it in the clipboard. If you select it, you have to select the structure you want. I think you can either do a circle or a square here. I like to lasso it better sometimes when the structures are close together. So if you had more than one here, you have to edit and copy. So now you have that structure in your clipboard. And if you go back to the NIST, let's go to the lib search so we can try something with the structure. We can right click and say import or insert clipboard structure. So this is the way you do. You can't just paste it in. You have to come to this option. So you right click and say insert clipboard structure, and you'll come up and say OK. So now you have a structure in here, but you don't have any spectrum. But what I want to do is show you how to do a structure search of the database for this compound and similar compounds. But first you have to go up to the library search options, and you have to select the libraries you're going to search. Remember, we selected them already for the spectrum search, but if you go here, you have to click and do structure search and set them up. And I've already set them up here. Usually if you came here out of the box, the software from NIST, you'd only have the demo lab. But I left click on the first, I held down the shift key, selected them all, and added them all. And now I've got 151,000 structures for about 500,000 spectra that I've put in these free databases. And I say, OK. And you go up to this thing that looks like a little three-membered ring, and it's structure search, and you just click on it. And you can see diazepam shows up as a good fit because that's what it was, but it finds other similar things. I think I don't have this, I was checking. Yeah, had other things on. So if I had this up here, best matching only, it'll show 400 spectra, but you can see a lot of them are just diazepam over and over again. So I'm going to turn best matching on off. And so now I'm getting on the bottom list. So I've left clicked on it, and I'll use the arrow keys on my keypad to step through things. And you can see the next one down is just diazepam that wasn't listed. It was just listed by name. And here's a dichloro analog of diazepam. You've got the nitro, so you can see you found similar type structures. So if you're looking for model compounds to see how other things fragment, this would be the way to do it. I wanted to show you just a few more things. If you decided you wanted to modify this somehow, I usually start with the structure. If I can find it within the NIST search, I can just send it to the ACD drawing program and I don't have to draw the whole structure. So let's say I'm looking for a methyl group on here, and I'm not too good at drawing stuff, so I make a kind of distorted structure there. What you can do is go up to the lasso here and lasso it. You could lasso the whole structure and correct it, but when you do that, it changes the orientation. So I tend to just lasso what I want to fix. And I would come up here to search for structure. Let's see, clean structure. And a lot of times I use the keyboard equivalent, F9, instead of doing the clean structure. It's just easier when you get accustomed to using the F9 key. And I just clicked it one time and it straightened it out. So that's a very important part. When you're drawing things, you need to straighten things out. So you need to be able to do the F9 function to clean structures. And the other thing I wanted to show you, we'll go to the NIST program again. Here, I'm just pretending like I want to figure out what this spectrum is. So to put this into MS Interpreter, there's no way to right click and send it. But if you go over here to the ASCII for that spectrum, right click and say send to MS Interpreter. Now we have it in MS Interpreter, but there's no structure, so it can't do its interpretation of the substructure and relate it to the ions. But if we can go find, let's say, what we want, so I'll go back over to libsearch, and I had diazepam here, and I'll just steal its structure. So I'll say copy structure to clipboard. Now it's in the NIST clipboard. I can go back to MS Interpreter. I can click in this space that has nothing, and I say edit, paste, and now it comes in. You can see still one problem. Everything's in white, so it doesn't know what it is. Well, sometimes this program has problems depending on where the data comes from, getting it into the right ionization mode. So remember, you have to always check, right click on the bottom part here and say options, and then go up, and we need to pick not ionized, that's for EI. We need to check protonated for positive or deprotonated for negative and say OK. Now we have our black ions that tell us what everything is in the thing and correlates the structure to the ions, like I showed you before. So that's pretty much how you use the clipboard within the NIST search with ACD to manipulate structures. Good day.